you ever been so excited to dive into a new self-development book, devour the whole thing, only to realize absolutely nothing in your life has changed? You might read a ton, your bookshelf is full, but you're still stuck. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how I stopped just reading books and how I started learning, applying, and changing my behavior. We're going to break down the simple steps so you can avoid becoming what Auntie Frisella calls a
success zombie.
Let's get into it. We're talking about reading and books because I had a question on one of my Instagram reels. Let me find it. Hold on. Tess Goffmora, thank you for your question because it gave me an idea for this video. And this is not related, lol, but wondering if you could do a video on how you study to retain everything you are learning in entrepreneur books. So if you guys don't know, I like to read books. Here's all the books that I've read recently, and they're all in this little bin. I don't read books. I don't just read books. That's the right word. I read the books, but I don't just read the books. I learn what I'm reading. And I wanted to show you kind of like how I read a book, how I take notes while reading a self-development, personal development, entrepreneur, learning, whatever book it is. It doesn't even have to be entrepreneurial. It could be how to tie your shoes book. I'm gonna show you guys how I take notes while reading, ingest the information, and then make a to-do list after I read the book, and how do I apply that to my life that actually improve myself and actually learn something and not just be a success zombie or a entrepreneur. So I got this idea this morning to make this video, and I started doing my makeup, and when I do my makeup I like to listen to something. So I clicked on Alex Hormozi's new video that he posted today. He literally talks about this in his video today.
And learning, for everyone, same condition, new behavior. So if you watch more videos, but your conditions are the same, and your behavior does not change, you entertained yourself. So if you're going to consume stuff, you have to act on it in order for learning to occur. And so I say this because as somebody who once was a entrepreneur who liked to tickle my ears with different books and self-help stuff, I realized one day, this was when I was 21 or 22, I had read like 14 self-help books over like a quarter. And I realized at the end of the 14 books, I was in the same job, working in the same city, and nothing in my life had changed. And so then at that point, I then vowed that the next book that I read, I would do everything in the book, and until I had done that, I wouldn't read another book.
And I was like, whoa. And then, it gets even better, okay? Is my mic like really loud? It gets even better. I'm eating breakfast, made breakfast, eating breakfast, sit down, I'm watching Real AF, the Q&AF from today, from this morning. Andy starts talking about success zombies.
I call those people success zombies. These are the people that consume all of the information, they listen to all the podcasts, they go to the seminars.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Andy talks about success zombies in his book, but I've been flipping through and I cannot find it. Basically, a success zombie listens to all the podcasts, they read all the books, they do all the seminars and all the things, and never take action because they never feel prepared enough, and they just keep saying they're waiting for someone to tell them to go, but it's like you just go. Also, look how cool this is. This is the receipt that I got when I ordered this, and they wrote a little thank you note. Okay, if that's not a sign to make this video, I don't know what it is, so we're making the video. First, before I get into this, I want to show you some notes that I've taken off of past books that I've read. And I also do the same exact process for YouTube videos when I take notes and stuff for YouTube videos. This applies to books and to videos. These are notes that I took off of Awaken the Giant Within. So I read this the beginning of the year. Yeah, May 6th, 2025. I took these notes. Hold on. Awaken the Giant Within. So as you can see, I have bookmarked the heck out of it. I love these things. I mark up my books like so much. There's usually a ton of writing. If I'm gonna sit down to read, I have a highlighter. Where'd it go? Oh, usually I have a pen and some highlighters of choice. I'm using Tombow today, okay? I always have highlighters and a pen with me. Marked in all these tabs. I highlighted the book like crazy, wrote in post-it notes, and then I will write a to-do list, like checklist, like make sure you do this into your life, an action step list. So that is what this is. And it's very long. It's basically like a summary of every single thing that I learned and like what I need to do in my life now, after reading it, I'm in a to-do list. That didn't make any sense. For example, one of these says, constantly seek improvement every day in all areas. Tiny refinements. An action step for that in real life would be like, okay, at the gym today, last week I did 6 reps. Can I do 7 reps with the same weight this week? Can I increase the weight a little bit? That would be a small little teeny tiny improvement that you can make every single day in your life. So that would be an action thing. Create systems for your code of conduct. Okay, if I want my code of conduct to be charismatic or whatever, that means I need to smile. That means I need to make eye contact with people. That means I need to... Don't hurt me. Those are like the action steps that you can put into that. Okay, right here. I highlighted that. This says, in life, never spend more than 10% of your time on the problem and spend at least 90% of your time on the solution. Okay, so right now I'm trying to think of like how I could apply this into my life and like make it an action step. This is how I do that. Okay, so let's say I have a problem that arises. I actually have a problem today that arose yesterday that I'm having to deal with today. So instead of sitting around and being like, crap, this is the problem, what am I gonna do? I failed a little bit and I freaked out yesterday, but there's nothing I could do about it yesterday. Today, instead of freaking out about it, instead of all the things, I have taken action on it. I've taken action on making the solution. That would be an action that I've applied from this book into my own life. Instead of sitting around like freaking out about the problem and focusing so much on the problem, I've already taken multiple steps today to fix the problem. I have contacted people. I am going to visit someone this afternoon to fix the problem. Like that is what I don't know, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, you have to make action steps for what you read. Even if you read this entire book, which is this book is 490 pages long. I've gotten like one thing out of this book. If I ever had to live my life again, I'd dare to make mistakes next time. I'd relax, I'd limber up, I'd be sillier than I've ever been this trip. I would take fewer things seriously. So like that's one thing, that was on the last flipping page of this book. That was one thing out of this book that I have like really thought about a lot. And I still tend to take things kind of seriously, but I've been better about it. And I've been better about, you know what?
Hey guys, a week from today is Black Friday and this sweatsuit is gonna go on sale for a Black Friday sale. So stay tuned for the epic Black Friday sale, one day only Black Friday sale. Okay, bye.
Let's take some risks. Let's live life. Let's go for a little adventure. Like that's one of the things that I've really gotten out of this book. Just making a to-do list, making an action list from what you're reading is so important. So then the next book, I mean, I do this for every single book that I read, but I'm just showing you some examples. So The Total Money Makeover. This is a really easy read. It's really amazing for just like basic money principles and things that they should teach us in high school, but that actually don't teach us ever. I took notes on this. From these notes, I actually made a 5-year goal plan. The only way that I figured that out, the only way that I figured out those action steps was taking notes while reading it, marking the book up, okay, highlighting, doing all the things, and then as I was reading it, I actually took like an afternoon and read it all in like an afternoon. I took notes on the whole thing. I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay, that's what I did. So each chapter, I would write down like the main theme, the main thing, the main takeaway, the TLDR of the chapter. I would write that down for each number in the chapter, and then even just being conscious of that and not just reading it out of entertainment will change everything. Because I used to do that. In like middle school and high school, early high school and stuff, I would read a book. And I mean, I haven't read a nonfiction, I haven't read a fiction book since like 7th grade when I read The Hobbit. So I've literally been reading self-development books since like 6th, 7th grade, and that's it. And it hasn't been until like the recent past years that I've been like really making sure that I take notes and then I apply, and I've seen changes in my life, and I've actually seen myself like digesting the principles and stuff. Because you have to take notes. You have to take notes. You have to make an action step list to apply the things that you're reading into your life. And then another thing that I like to do is I just read, where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's not here. Hold on. Aha. Okay, I found more books that were in my closet that I forgot about. So this is another book that I have taken a bazillion notes out of and been applying into my life and just like actively thinking of things. Embrace uncertainty. You read something in a book, like, okay, so The Laws of Human Nature. While reading, instead of just like making myself read the entire time, I'll read something and then I'll kind of like daydream for a second and be like, where in my life has this been true? And I'll try to think of examples of these laws of human nature happening in my life, happening with myself, self-auditing while reading something is so important. And that actually helps you remember what you're reading better when you take a second, not to just like, because sometimes I'll say like, okay, I'm gonna read for 30 minutes. Like I used to just read for 30 minutes straight and like not let my mind wander at all. But sometimes I embrace the wandering, you know? Sometimes I let myself kind of wander as long as it's about the topics in this book. Sometimes I wander and I come up with an amazing idea that didn't have anything to do with it. But besides that, I usually will let my mind wander a little bit when I read, just for a few moments at a time, just to be like, okay, so the law of defensiveness. When others try to persuade or change us, we become defensive and resistant. How many times has that been true in my life? So many times. So when I read that, I was like, where are all the times that I've been doing that recently? When have I been defensive and resistant recently whenever people are calling me out on something that is actually, if I listen to them, would make my life better? And like self-auditing is so important when you read books too. So like let your mind kind of wander about the topics in the book. I used to be like super like, I have to read this for 30 minutes straight and I can't think of anything else. It's actually okay to think about some other things when you read. That is where the creativity comes in. Like put yourself in the book's shoes, even though it's not flipping a fairy tale book. Self-development, put yourself in the situation that the book is talking about. Like, yeah, okay, I'll more on that in a second. So then here are some other books that I've gotten. Oh gosh, I have not read these yet. Have not read this yet. These are books I will be reading and taking notes on soon, so I'm excited about this. Oh! Okay, I went into my closet to find this book, which I just finished last. This is the last book that I read. So let's see here. This book's amazing because it has little recaps at the end of each chapter. And at the end of each chapter, the recaps aren't just recaps, they are literally how to apply this to your life. Let's see what it says. Alex Hormozi does this amazingly with his books. Like, these are literally like action steps in every single thing. And at the end of each chapter, there's it tells you how to apply this to your business and how to do the things. So many notes on Alex Hormozi stuff. He's a very great author. So at the end of every chapter, it says, your path to prosperity. And then it will say, for example, learn to follow if you want to learn to lead. And then it'll have like a whole paragraph on like how to do that in your life. So I went through, after I read the whole thing, took notes throughout the entire book, highlighted crap, all the things. Here it is. Okay, I made a Google document called Thou Shall Prosper Notes. And then I went through all the 10 commandments that he makes in the book. Un momento. All the 10 commandments, okay? In the book, so at the end of every single chapter, and then I did like a little recap on them, and then I put my action steps under each chapter. The ones that apply to me, apply to my life. That is what this is, action steps. So I have little document tabs on the other side. I did the 10 commandments, and then I did action steps. And then start doing the action steps in your day-to-day, on your to-do list. Write them in your to-do list and do them. Thou shalt prosper. This is thou shalt prosper. That's thou shalt prosper. Thou shalt prosper. These books. So take notes in a notebook too, and then I'll like compile all of them together and make them into actionable steps. The next book that I'm reading, the book that I'm reading right now, well, the book that I read every single day is the Bible, okay? It is a book on how to flip and live your life. So I take immense notes over this, and the entire time that I'm reading the Bible, I'm thinking, how does this apply to my life? How can I use this to better God's plan? How can I bring glory to God by following his word? And I mean, doing that in itself is bringing glory to God, but like, how can you be a better servant of the Lord every single day? This is so overwhelming, you guys. I can't really, like, my past video that I just made was talking about like serving the Lord, bringing glory to him, like through being productive. Every single day you should work to serve the Lord and work to get better at serving the Lord. And a really amazing way to do that is just to read the Bible and write it on your heart. So like I've been memorizing Proverbs 3 verses 1 through 12. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments, for the length of days and long life and peace shall I add to thee. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. So like I've been memorizing that because it literally says, write my law. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. So I'm literally trying to like write that onto my heart so that I will never forget it. That's an action step that I'm taking with this. Believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Like that's a got him action step. And then with the book that I'm reading right now, so I started reading this, I have not read it, in a couple days because I've been reading these other books. I need to read this. This is the next book that I need to read and take notes on and learn and apply. Anyways, the book that I'm reading currently is Unreasonable Hospitality. I flipping love this book. And this is a great book for visualizing yourself in the actual circumstance. You know, I made tea and I haven't even drank any of it yet. Hold on. Ah! I did not cool that down at all. Unreasonable Hospitality. I am only 38 pages into this book, but I've already marked up. That doesn't have anything marked up on it. I've been taking notes in it and writing with my pen. I didn't have a highlighter when I was reading this, but I did have a pack of Post-it notes with me. So every single time I read something in it that I was like, oh, I need that in my life right now. I wrote it on a Post-it note and then I just posted the Post-it note in the book and also like put a Post-it note here because I want to come back to this page later. Oh, this is another great book to like put yourself in the situation that he's talking about because he tells really great stories in this book. So while he's telling a story, I might like kind of daydream for a second, like a minute or two, and just be like, what would I do in that situation? Or like, how could I do this? Like, how could I apply what happened in his story to my story? So I'm gonna clean this stuff up and then I'm gonna read and show you how I take notes and stuff. So I talked for 33 minutes, great. Oh, also, I totally forgot about this. I wrote this book when I was 16. It's on Amazon. It's linked below, I think. It's somewhere on Amazon. If you look up 16 by Madeline Spires, it'll come up on Amazon. I wrote this book because I wanted to have a place that I had compiled all of the notes from all the books that I'd read so far, all of the podcasts that I'd listened to so far, all of the YouTube videos that I listened to so far, all the stories that I've heard of all these successful entrepreneurs. I wanted a spot, a place, a notebook, if you will, that had every single thing that I had learned from other people in one place. So the back of it says, Madeline, seeking for self-improvement, started reading and listening to the world's most accomplished and successful people to learn what routines, habits, and mindsets made them the way that they are. After a few years of research, she felt she owed it to others like herself to share what she has learned in a quick and simple manner. In only 16 rules, Madeline has summed up what it takes to live a fulfilled and accomplished life according to those she admires most, plus a little of her own pizzazz. So, took all these notes from all these things that I read, took all the notes from all the podcasts I listened to, Andy Frisella being one of them. I've been listening to him since I was 14, I think. Action! I literally wrote a book. By writing a book about this, like they are ingrained into my brain. Now I have changed since then, since this time. Like I'm sure there's things in this book. Yes, this book is good. Okay, there's good stuff in here that I learned and it still applies to my life today. I have changed like a little bit of things because I mean I was literally 15, 16 when I wrote it. But it just goes to show like this was the action that I took from all of those things combined. I wrote a book about it. That's just a good example of like an action that I took. The last fiction book I read was 7th grade, but that's not including fiction books that I've written. So I wrote this in 8th grade. Also available on Amazon. Anyways, let me start reading now. So I need to like get. I got my little Post-it note-y thingies, notebook, and then I got my Unreasonable Hospitality book. 30 minutes. So when I take notes on a book, I need to I'll write the title of the book. Hold on. So that I can do this for like organization purposes. So Unreasonable You know what? We're gonna do prettier handwriting than that. Hold on. Okay, I kind of ran out of room, but it's okay. So I write the title of the book, and then I'll write the date. So today's November, and then I like to write the page number, page 40, date, name, and then page number that I'm taking the note from, and then I'm gonna write down the line from the book that I want to remember. So that's how I take a note. That's how I take a note from the book, so that's what I just did. Doo-doo. I'm gonna keep on reading. Bruh. I would be so mad if what just happened in the book happened to me. All right, so my 30-minute timer is up. This page I have insanely highlighted. I hope you can't hear my mom sweeping, by the way. I'm gonna read this little section because I'm basically just read the rest of it. My experience showing it's possible to be corporate smart and restaurant smart at the same time. The team was empowered, the guests were happy, and we were running a lean, mean, profitable business. Then Danny asked to meet with me again. Ooh, cliffhanger! That was great. I'm on page 49 now, so I read 10 pages. Here's all the notes that I took from today in 30 minutes. So yeah, from this, I learned the rule of 95-5. So now I'm gonna apply this to my life. I'm gonna look in my business, I'm gonna look in my things that I do in my life, and I'm gonna be like, where can I apply this rule into my life? And I haven't even read the entire book yet. And I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to apply what I'm reading into it actively into my life, seeing the situations in my life that I can apply this to. What can you do? What action step can you take from what you're reading? So, oh, my camera rudely interrupted me. Oh, Christmas tree! Okay, so that's how I read books. That's what I do. Pretty simple. Nothing like too crazy. I literally just read them very, very slowly. I read 10 pages in 30 minutes. That kind of is a long time, especially for how big these words are. Like, the books that are like jam-packed full of words, like not Robert Greene. Yes, Robert Greene. I don't know why I didn't think it was Robert Greene. That's his name. Like The Laws of Human Nature, that book is jam-packed with words. Like that takes me even longer to read, but I don't care how long it's gonna take me to read. I'm not forcing myself to read a book a week. I'm forcing myself to read the book, learn what the heck I'm reading, and then take immense notes on it. Digest the information as much as flippin' possible to not become a success zombie or a entrepreneur, to actually take the steps that the book is flipping telling you to do. I literally cannot wait to apply this principle, the 95-5 rule, into my life. Like, I'm so excited to brainstorm this tonight. Like, I mean, that took 30 minutes of my day. And I've learned something that's gonna help me so much. And this guy has literally used in his business to make himself the #1 best restaurant in the entire world. Yeah, of course I'm gonna start applying this principle into my life as soon as possible. I will go through the entire book, make an actionable list of every single thing in the book that I read, apply that to my to-do list, apply it to my life, just like I do every single morning with the Bible. And what I'm learning every single day, I apply it to my life. How can I apply this to God's plan for my life? How can I bring glory to God through what He's teaching me through His Word? Everything from YouTube videos to podcasts to that, like Kendra Scott and Cody Sanchez podcast. And where is my Kendra Scott notes? Actually might not be here. Oh, it sure is. Wait, no, it's not. Oh, dang it. Where are they? Bruh. Oh, I did! All right, this is an example of notes that I took from a podcast in the same exact way. I just listened to it and write down what I learned and write down how I can apply what she did in her life into my life. So Kendra Scott on her podcast with Cody Sanchez, 6 pages. I have already started to take action on what she taught me in that podcast in my life. So, moral of the story, don't be a success zombie like Andy Frisella calls it, or a entrepreneur like Alex Hormozy calls it. Read your books, slowly learn them. Don't be afraid to take forever to read a book because you're actually learning it. Apply what you're learning, take notes, make a to-do list, do the to-do list, and see all of your magical dreams and wonderful things come true, because that was what will happen if you actually do the things that they say to do. Take action. Food for thought. Thank you so much for watching. This is a quick video, a little bit different from my usual videos, not an hour-long documentary vlog on a certain philosophical. But I hope you enjoyed, hope this helped. Happy reading! Everyone, learn for your brain. Okay, thanks for watching. Peace out! Bye. Peace out, bye. Ooh.